Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Marina here, and I am so glad that I can be back here today, you guys. I missed you all so much on Wednesday. It felt so strange not putting out a video on Wednesday, but I really needed to take that step back. My heart was willing to come here, but my body said, no girl, you are not going to do that. And then I had to listen. Guys, burnout is a real thing. Honestly, it is a real thing. Like, this whole week has just been very crazy for me, but I'm glad I can sit here and just come back and touch with you guys. What are you doing today? Hope you're all doing well. If it's your first time here, you're welcome. My name is Marina. I make videos from Saskatoon, Canada, where I share about my experiences as a Nigerian immigrant in Canada. So do well to hit the subscribe button and join our family. So today, guys, as I have been doing in the last couple of videos, I'm going to be talking about one other thing that comes up in my inbox quite a number of times, and it is about finding the right career path in Canada. I'm going to be sharing with you what to look out for and factors to consider when deciding what career path to take when you finally arrive in Canada. So if you want to hear more about that, you know what to do. Definitely keep watching. Okay guys, so I find that finding the right career path is one of the very critical decisions that newcomers make when they arrive in Canada. It can be very daunting trying to figure out, what do I want to do from here, what's my career going to look like, do I need a career switch, all those many questions that we ask ourselves. So today I'm going to attempt to share with you from my experience what it was like navigating and finding my career path in Canada. There are a number of factors to consider, but the ultimate decision, how well you succeed, how high you go, is going to depend entirely on you. Boom. Let's assume that you are not going to continue in the career that you've already had. When you come to Canada, you now decide, you know what, I don't want to do that anymore. I want a different career path. How do you now decide which career path to go into from where you are? The first question I'll ask you is, what do you like? What do you want for yourself? If you could go into the future 5 years, or if you could go into the future 10 years, what would you want to see yourself doing? That's where you want to start from. If all jobs in the world paid the same amount, benefits were the same, privileges, everything was the same, what would you be doing? If money was not the deciding factor, what would you be doing? That's the first question you want to ask yourself. The answer to that question is going to point you in the next step to take. Typically, what I advise people to do is identify more than one area, maybe 2 or 3, and then narrow it down even further. Now, because we know that what you like, passion is not going to be enough for the career path. It's a very huge part, but that's not all you need. You are in a new country. Passion is not alone, is not going to pay your bills, and the bills are plenty, trust me. Okay, now that you have identified these 3 areas to say, this is what I really like, the next question you want to ask yourself is, where am I going? Where am I going to be landing in Canada? What province am I living in? And in the province that I'm going to be living in, of these 3 areas that I've identified, what is in demand where I'm going? If you're coming in through the federal express entry, which allows you to land anywhere in the country, you can actually do this before you land, and then when you identify exactly what you want to do, you can now use that to pick where you're going to land, knowing what you want to do and where that occupation is needed the most. You can use that to decide where to land. But if you're coming into Canada through like a provincial nomination program where you are mandated to land in the province that nominated you, it might be a bit more narrow. You now have to look for choices that are in demand in the province that you're going to. Does that make any sense? Beyond just identifying what you like, beyond just identifying passion, you're going to need to be able to make an income out of that profession or that career, whatever it is you've identified. Because I mean, take for instance, you sit down and now decide that, oh, the career path that I like, what I really like is painting, and you're going to land in a province where that's not a thing. How are you going to live? Yes, it's okay to want to follow your heart. You must identify the difference between your hobby and what you can do for money. For some people, they are lucky enough to find a hobby as a career path. Their hobby becomes their career path. That's fine. But in a new country, the dynamics might be different. It might not, for the things that will fly as hobbies in the country where you're coming from, might not have the same demand. It might not have the same market where you're landing in. So there's a lot of wisdom in sitting down to ask yourself those questions. You must be able to identify exactly what you can do that can fetch an income. Okay, so it's not just I like basket weaving, so I'm going to be weaving baskets regardless of who is going to buy the basket. I don't care, it's just my passion. You are going to be hungry. You are going to be very hungry if you don't narrow it down to something that you can do, something that you like, and something that is capable of fetching you an income. Okay, just so we're clear, this is applicable to the people who are looking to switch careers when they land in Canada. For the people who already know what they want to do, all you have to do is just now look for jobs in the areas that you've already identified. I have a video on this channel where I've talked about how to find a job in Canada. So for the people who have identified the areas that they want to continue in, it might help you to watch that video just to get an idea from the experiences that I shared. I'm going to link that somewhere on the screen and in the description box below, so do well to check that out. What I'm trying to describe here is mainly applicable to the people who are looking to switch careers. I've gotten a lot of questions like that, like what kind of job can I do, where can I go, where can I find the jobs. That's what I'm addressing in today's video. Okay, so let's not get it confused. Now that you have identified the areas that you really like, you have identified the one that can fetch an income, you have identified all these things, what do you now do from there? You will now have to figure out if you need additional training to function in that area. Is there any other certification you need? Do you need to go back to school when you get into Canada so that you can have training in the area that you're interested in? Because previous work experience is fine, but with education in the exact area that you're looking to get into is always going to have an advantage. So if you need extra training, it might help as soon as you can when you arrive to start to make plans to take on those trainings. I find that for the people who come in and say, okay, you know what, let me just work first, I understand how it can be. Your proof of funds is going, money is not coming in, so people take on survival jobs just to be able to make an income before they now decide how they want to progress. For those ones, you have to be careful. Survival jobs are fine, but you don't want to be stuck there for too long, because the longer you leave it, the more difficult it becomes to go back to school and get those additional training. If you already have certifications that are globally recognized, all the better for you, because I mean, for instance, you're an IT person, IT training in Nigeria is IT training in the US, is the same IT training in Canada. Those things are the same, they are universally recognized. So if you have certifications like that, all the better for you. But if you don't, you want to start to make plans to take on those certifications to put yourself in a more competitive position when you arrive. And after that, you want to create like a professional profile. If you don't already have a LinkedIn profile as a professional, I don't understand what's going on. By now you should have a standard LinkedIn profile and begin to network, begin to reach out, look for professional associations. Most of them will usually have pages on LinkedIn. You can reach out to them, start to connect with these people, and before long you will begin to learn the ropes in the career path that you're trying to get into. Another major thing that I advise people to do is to get a professional mentor. I didn't know this from the beginning. For me, it was friends that I had. It was people who have been here longer than I have, who were already succeeding in their chosen career path. They were the ones I was talking to. So it was not like a professional mentor-mentee kind of relationship. It was personal relationships, but I could also go to them for professional advice. So it is important for you to identify at least one person like that who you can go to. Somebody who, and if it's somebody who's already in the chosen field that you're trying to get into, all the better for you. But if not, people who have risen in their career would almost always be able to give you advice that will be relevant to you, even if it's in a different career field. So identify a professional mentor, listen to the advice, be humble enough to take the advice that you're giving. Sometimes it might just be, you know what, tweak your resume a little. Some people get offended. I heard a story once of somebody who, a newcomer reached out to her. She had been here at the time maybe like 8 or 9 years, professionally in every sense of the word. She has grown in her career. A newcomer reached out to her to say, I'm looking for a job, and she said, okay, you know what, send me your resume. And she made recommendations on the resume to say, you know what, you need to cut this out, cut this out, cut this out. And guess what happened? The newcomer got offended. Like, how can you tell me to cut down my resume from 3 pages to 1.5? What do you mean? Are you saying I cannot write resume? But you're the one looking for a job. So you have to be humble enough, put the pride aside, put the ego aside. See, Canada is going to serve you the humble pie. So the earlier you learn how to humble yourself and just listen to advice, the better for you. Take advice from the people that you know you can trust. It's not everybody that will give you professional advice that you listen to. If I tell you all the advice that I got when I landed in this Canada, if I followed all of them, I can't even imagine what I would have been like. I was able to filter the advice and take the one that was only relevant to me, because I understood where I wanted to go. So I was able to filter the advice and take only what was relevant to me. You also want to do the same thing. So it's important for you to network, it's important for you to reach out to other people, but then again, it's also important for you to filter the advice that you're getting, so that you're not taking advice, listening to everybody, because we cannot rule out the fact that there's a lot of projection going on. Boom. So if, for instance, you come and tell me you want to get into a career path, something that I've tried and failed in, do you think I will advise you to go ahead? Of course not. I will tell you all the things that are wrong with it because I failed. But does that mean that because I failed, you can't succeed? You see the reason why it's important to filter what you get. It is important for you to filter who you're taking advice from, and it is very important for you to filter what you hear. Okay, so it's very key. I cannot underestimate that, and that's where professional associations come in. If you have to register and join one of these associations, all the better for you. If you have to get membership, all the better for you, right? You want to make sure that you're networking as much as possible. And then there's the option of career counselors. These are people who are trained to help people navigate their way in finding the right career, especially in Canada. There are organizations that are set up to specifically help newcomers settle in. Like I would have mentioned on this channel before, the Open Door Society here in Saskatoon have a number of those career counselors that would go through a number of questions with you. Some of them, like the questions I've already asked, what you like, what you want to do, and things like that. You go through questions like that for them to now figure out and help you and point you in the direction of where you should go. So that's an option that you can use as well. Okay, guys, I'm going to be honest with you. Finding the career path, especially for people who now realize that they have to go back to school, it can be a very tough choice. It can be a very tough decision. You've probably been out of university for what, 10 years, 15 years, for some people up to 20 years, and then you come here and realize that you have to go back to school. It can be very tough. I'm telling you the truth. Not just the cost of those programs, some of the programs can be expensive, but just the mental part, the adjustments, the recalibrating your head to go back to classroom learning. Take it from somebody who has done it before and is about to do it again. Because you guys, this crazy girl has gone to register and she's going back to school. I'm sitting down here and my palms sweat when I think about it, because the first time I went to school full-time. I wasn't working, I was doing school and running a home, and that was a lot of work. This time I am going back to school, I'm still running a home, I have a full-time job, and now there's my YouTube family. So I'm thinking about it. I don't know how I'm going to juggle all of that, but I know that taking the first step, which I've already done, which is to register for the program, taking that first step was the biggest part for me. Now that I've taken that first step, every other thing is going to fall into place. So take it from me, it is going to be a lot of work, but your determination, your drive, remember we always talk about your why. When you think about why am I really doing this, I hope that that is enough motivation for you. I hope that that's enough push for you to push yourself, because you know what you're aiming at. It is not going to be an easy decision, it's not going to be an easy road, but trust me, it is one that will definitely be worth it in the end. And as I'm saying this to you, I'm saying it to myself as well, because I need that push right now, guys. It's okay to be afraid. It's really okay to be afraid. That's what I need you to understand. But do not let your fear paralyze you from taking the next step. It is okay to fear, but what you do with the fear is what's important. It is important for you not to ask the what ifs and not make a move. How am I going to do it? What if I fail? What if you pass? That's another way. So yes, it's okay to be afraid. It is going to scare you, but like Nike says, just do it. I'm saying that to myself as well, because you guys, we're going to do this somehow in this Canada. I did not come here to come and can't breathe. Anyway guys, I hope you learned something from this. As usual, if you have any questions, please do well to leave them in the comment section below. If you prefer to send me an email, my email is always in the description box in all my videos. So if you look on there, you will find my email address and my social media handles. There's always a way for you to contact me right in the description box of my videos. If there's something else that you would like me to touch on this, a specific area in this that I've missed, please go ahead and leave it in the comment section as well, or send me an email. Well, thank you very much for watching this video, guys. If you have watched all the way to this point, thank you very much. And if you're yet to subscribe, please do well to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell beside it, so that you know every time I upload a new video. Until I come your way in my next video, guys, it's your girl Marina saying thank you and have an amazing day. Bye bye.